Giving you story after story, everything is true. Some things are kinda scary, so what you gonna do? Cause that's another tale from the Sipp. That's another tale from the Sipp. Sometimes we spit scripture, line upon line, not discussing wickedness, but what is divine. And
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tales from the Sipp. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tales from the Sipp. Episode 69. Yay. My testimony. Part 4. Damn. Part 4 like Judah. Yeah. Let me get into it. So now I'm telling you about when I was 8 years old, I had that vision. But now this how the vision started. I remember when I was little, I used to, like I said, I used to study the Bible all the time. First, I used to read. I just used to read. I read it from back to front. You know what I'm saying? Half of the stuff I ain't even understand. So one day I was sitting up there, reading, and then I asked the Most High, I said, Most High, I prayed because I heard this at church. So people be talking bad about the Christian church. Let me explain something. It's a lot of people in the church that really have a relationship with the Most High. They just don't know about the how should I say? They just don't know about the part about us being the people of the book. You know what I'm saying? So I don't down them, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I obtained a lot of knowledge from, you know, people in the church. Like my uncle, man. He also a Mason. So, but he a 33rd degree. But that's for another talk. But let's get back into it. Now, I learned a lot of things, you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, hey, you know what I'm saying? I would read and I was like I couldn't understand it. How the King James read. You know what I'm saying? And then my mama had a big old Bible, man. It was a King James version, but it wasn't like the versions we have today. This Bible, this big old Bible, where it said Jesus, it had Iesus. It didn't have no J's in it. That's the Bible she had. That's the Bible I started off reading. So, some of you, you probably had the modern King James. I had the old one. I used to read. My mama had a Bible about the size of my, wide, you know what I'm saying? Big. That was a family Bible. Where did it come in? Do a lot of you have a family Bible? But yeah. So it was big. That's the one I used to read out of. When it had the Greek, you know what I'm saying? The Greek, all the Greek stuff. And it wasn't no J's in it. So I was sitting there reading it, and it was Iesus. And you know, uh I never I only reason I knew, to say Jesus because I went to church. If I didn't known that, I wouldn't have known that was Jesus, the Messiah's name, because I seen Iesus. And later on, I went to I graduated from a biblical, I graduated from a Christian college. Then later on, I graduated from a seminary. So I've been digging deep a long time. A lot of people may say, "Oh man, it don't matter. You went to a cemetery, Christian college, blah blah blah." But let me explain this. Even though I had a better understanding. I had a better understanding of prophecy than the professors did. I had a better understanding of a better grip of interpretation because they was using uh these white people over there in their little state to saying, oh, these are the Israelites. I still learn a lot of things. I learned a lot of things. I learned Greek. I took a year of Greek, and then it helped me to kind of understand some of the interpretations of these of what they were saying. But I didn't take Hebrew. The Hebrew I learned, that was just what the Most High implanted in me by studying. You know what I'm saying? So it helped. It helped a little bit. You know what I'm saying? It broadened my mind. It helped me to be more studious and a lot of things I did. But am I saying you need to go to seminary? No. You need to just get up on a teacher that is diligent. You know what I'm saying? Somebody, if you're a diligent student, get up under somebody that has a certain amount of knowledge that can push you a long way. But anyway, back to what I was saying. So when I was 8 years old, this really, let's take it back to when I was 7. When I was 7, I asked the Most High, just by listening in church, I said, will you give me all knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of your word? Guess what happens after that? Before I just opened the Bible up to the page, and my eyes focus on the scripture that said, "To much is given, to much is required." I didn't understand. Wait a minute. What does that mean? I said, "He gonna require a lot from me later on in life." I understood what that meant because for be as it may, you may not understand. Some people, the Most High started dealing with them as a child, man. He started dealing with me as a child, and he guided me through my whole life to show me what I needed to do. It's nothing spectacular. I'm not a spectacular person. I'm just a dude, man. I'm just a ordinary dude. He could have used anybody, man. He ain't had to use me. He ain't need me. I mean, as you look at me, you can tell ain't nothing special about me. Some people hate me. I ain't did nothing to them. I don't bother people. I don't do nothing. They don't have nothing. They don't have nothing. They have some stuff against me for some reason. But that's just because the Most High light shining in me, and they full of darkness. And I'm not putting them down, but you know, just think about it. Just listen to them. Why you got a problem with me? I don't bother anybody. But that's neither here nor there. But like I said, I asked that question and he gave me an answer. Too much is given, too much is required. Yes, sir. So I hear that, and then I keep living, and the scriptures start opening up to me for some reason. It's like when I start reading, it's like I can, when I'm reading these stories of these in the Old Testament and the New Testament, mostly the Old Testament, I start reading these stories, and it's like I can see the stuff happening. while I'm reading. You know, because I got a vivid imagination anyway. But I start seeing these stories take place while they're taking place, while I'm reading. Man, it was beautiful, man. So, get up, 8 years old. Yeah. And the little situation happened where I don't know if I mentioned it in another story, but I was sitting there one day and I had a similar situation as Samuel did. If you read the story of Samuel, you know what I'm talking about. I was sitting there one day and wasn't nobody in the house but me and my father. And I heard, well, I wasn't Hundo then. I changed my name to Hundo. My name was Juan then. So I heard Juan. I looked around. I went in there at my daddy. You called me? He said, no, I ain't talking. I ain't saw you say nothing to you. So I went back playing or whatever I was doing. I heard my name called again. Juan. Like, what? Went back in there again. He said, man, I ain't called you. What do you? Then he had a strange look when he looked at me. And you know, you heard things about, hey, if somebody called your name and you don't see nobody, that's the devil. You know, black people say stuff like that. That ain't what it is. That be the Most High. They say, oh, that's the devil. You cause somebody call your name. So I'm gonna tell you this. If somebody call your name and you don't see nobody, it's not the devil. It is the Most High calling you. I don't know why black people say that, man. That's crazy. If you read the book of Samuel, you will see that when Samuel was called those 3 times, that was the Most High, not the devil. I don't know where that come from. So next time I heard one, boom, I walked in there. I mean, I ain't going and talk to my daddy then. I said, here I am, Lord, because I read it. I already read it. I read what the scripture said. And then the next thing you know, everything just started falling in place. It's a lot of stuff took place. But I'll get with you next time on that. Tales from the Sipp, episode 69. Be on the lookout for episode 70. Yeah. My testimony, part 4. Be on the lookout for my testimony, part 5. Yes, sir. Peace out.
That's another tale from the Sipp. That's another tale from the Sipp. Sometimes your boy may go way back in the day, talk about experiences and the games that he played. And that's another tale from the Sipp. That's another tale from the Sipp. Hey.